Today, we've got two Newcastle transfer stories with a proper edge to them. Striker Liam Delap, Chelsea, and a price that feels risky before you even hear the full story. Then, attacking midfielder Mateus Mania at Wolves, unhappy, wanted, and maybe slipping into that dangerous territory where we either move fast or watch someone else take him. Stick around, get subscribed, because this one feels like the start of a summer where Newcastle can't afford to blink. According to the Daily Mail, Chelsea want at least £40 million for Liam Delap, with us and Everton both looking at a possible summer move for the striker. And honestly, man, £40 million for a lad who scored 2 goals in 41 appearances at Chelsea. Away. Now look, I'm not saying Delap's got nothing about him. He had that decent year at Ipswich, 12 goals in the Premier League for a relegated side, and there's clearly something there. He came through at Manchester City, he's still only 23, he's physical, he's got edge, he can be a handful when he's right. But here's the thing. We're not shopping in the bargain bin anymore. We're not stood in the Ashley era praying some random loan signing can run around a bit and do a job. We're Newcastle United. We've lifted that Carabao Cup. We've had Champions League nights back at St. James Park. We've felt the Gallowgate end shaking again. So when Chelsea come asking for £40 million after one miserable season from Delap, I reckon every single one of us has the right to ask, are we buying potential or are we bailing Chelsea out? Because that's the bit that gets me. Chelsea signed him from Ipswich for £30 million last summer. He goes there, he barely gets going, João Pedro ends up ahead of him, and now suddenly they want a profit? A profit? For what exactly? The lads over at Metro also brought comments from Danny Murphy, who reckons Xabi Alonso might want to give Delap a proper look if he comes in at Chelsea. And fair enough. From their side, maybe he sees a young striker with different qualities to João Pedro. But Andy Townsend went the other way and said Delap looks like a championship player, and that's where this becomes a proper debate for us, because if Eddie Howe wants a new number 9, then we've got to be ruthless, not emotional, not desperate, ruthless. Nick Waltermaid was brought in as the big Isak replacement, and let's be honest, replacing Isak was always going to be messy. Class player, shame he didn't have the loyalty to match. That still stings, especially with Liverpool, because seeing them lot benefit from it makes my head go a bit raj. But we can't fix one problem by creating another. We need someone who lifts the level of our squad, someone who walks onto the pitch at SJP and gives defenders a horrible afternoon. Someone who looks at the black and white shirt and understands the weight of it. Not just a name, not just a Premier League label. Not just, he might come good. £40 million for potential is one thing. £40 million for Chelsea's regret is another. And I genuinely believe our recruitment has to be smarter than this. We've been canny in the market before. We've found lads who fit the club, fit the city, fit the fight. Look at War Bruno. Look at Tonali. Look at Big Dan Burn, one of us, living the dream. Those signings feel like Newcastle. Delap? I'm not fully against it. But at £40 million, I'm not clapping like a seal either. Because this is the standard now. We're not begging for scraps from the self-appointed elite. We're not here to give Chelsea a nice clean exit from a transfer that hasn't worked. If the price drops, maybe there's a conversation. If Howe sees something specific, need bother, I'll listen. But £40 million? That needs serious convincing. And imagine it, right? You're walking up to St. James Park, cold northeast wind cutting through your jacket, pint still fresh in your head from the strawberry, and the team news drops. Delap starts up front. Are you excited? Or are you thinking, we've just paid premium money for a massive gamble? That's the real question. So I'm asking you lot this, and be honest in the comments. Would signing Liam Delap for £40 million show ambition from us, or would it prove we're still too willing to overpay for other clubs' problems? And if you're Toon Army and you want straight, passionate Newcastle talk without the polished nonsense, get subscribed. Because we're following every move, every rumour, every mad twist this summer. And trust me, this one could split the fan base. The lads over at Football Insider are saying Mateus is unhappy at Wolves, with us and Borussia Dortmund both credited with interest. But Keith Wyness reckons only an extraordinary bid would get him out of Molineux this summer. And right away, that should get our attention. Because when an 18-year-old attacking midfielder breaks into first-team football, gets people talking, then suddenly finds himself stuck in the Championship after Wolves go down, you know clubs are going to circle. And we should be one of them. Now look, Mané's situation sounds messy. Wolves have lost Rob Edwards, they've brought in Cesar Peixoto, they're trying to rebuild, and Wentz is basically saying they'll want to keep the lad for a promotion push. Fair enough from their side. But from our side, this is where smart clubs move. Not loud, not desperate, smart. Because sometimes the smartest signing isn't the loudest one, it's the one you make before everyone else admits he's special. And honestly, man, that's exactly the sort of market we've got to be aggressive in. We can't only chase finished products with giant price tags and half Europe attached to them. We need to spot talent early, bring them into our squad, let them feel St. James Park, let them hear the Gallowgate end, let them understand what this club is becoming. That matters. And I reckon Mané is exactly the kind of profile that makes fans lean forward a bit. Young, technical, already had a taste of senior football. Clearly rated, frustrated because he doesn't want to be stuck below Premier League level. That hunger can be dangerous, in a good way. But here's the thing. Wyness also said he might be better off staying at Wolves for another year. And I get the logic. More minutes, less pressure, proper development, promotion fight, all of that. But football doesn't wait for perfect timing, does it? Dortmund don't wait. The self-appointed elite don't wait when they see a talent they fancy. So why should we? If our recruitment team genuinely believe Mané is special, then this can't become one of those stories where we look back in 2 years and say, "Aye, we were linked with him before he blew up." That does my head in. Because we've had enough years of watching other clubs act like predators while we acted like spectators. The Ashley era trained us to accept slow movement and missed chances. But we're not that club anymore. We're Newcastle United. We're building something. We're not here to clap politely while Dortmund walk in and take a canny player from under everyone's nose. Now, I'm not saying throw stupid money at Wolves. Divn't be daft. If they want something wild and call it an extraordinary bid, then we've got to be disciplined. But there's a difference between being disciplined and being passive. And that's where I want us to be sharp, because imagine this lad coming into our setup, training around proper senior players, learning the pace, the physical side, the pressure of wearing the black and white shirt. Imagine him stepping onto the pitch at SJP on a cold match day, floodlights on, noise bouncing round the ground. That can turn potential into something serious, but only if the club sees it early enough. The mad part is, Wolves might genuinely need him. If they want to come straight back up, they'll see Mané as one of the lads who can make a difference. So they're not just going to roll over, but players feel things. They feel relegation. They feel manager changes. They feel when a project suddenly looks smaller than their own ambition. And if Mané's unhappy, then that opens a door. Not wide open, but open enough for us to ask the question. And I genuinely believe this is the type of transfer where we find out how ruthless we are becoming. Do we wait until he costs silly money and every old guard club wants him, or do we back our judgment now? Because away, man, this club has got to stop acting surprised when talent becomes expensive after everyone else has noticed. We should be early, we should be bold, we should be clever. And if Mateus really is restless at Wolves, then I want our recruitment team at least having that conversation. Not for hype, not for headlines, for the future of our squad. Because the next great Newcastle side won't be built only with obvious signings. It'll be built with timing, with guts, with spotting lads before they become impossible to get. So here's my question for you lot. And I want honest answers in the comments. Should we test Wolves now for Mateus before Dortmund, or the old guard gets serious? Or would paying big for an unhappy 18-year-old be exactly the kind of risk we should avoid? And if you're loving these Newcastle updates, get subscribed, because this is the stuff we're tracking every day. Not just the massive headlines, but the little transfer sparks that could turn into something mint for our future. Join the Toon Army here, stick around, and let's keep calling it exactly how we see it.
Perfect.